Hey everyone, and welcome into episode 5 of our My Team career mode. I know it's been over a week since the last episode. This is why my career mode and all of my settings got corrupted and deleted a couple of days ago. So I had to simulate the first 4 races and re-record these races, which meant we lost our secondary sponsor, a bunch of acclaim, a bunch of car upgrades, and our entire everything looks different. We're dropping our AI to 103 because the AI are too fast, I'm slow. Our entire performance index looks different. You might remember we were close to McLaren before this. Yeah, it's just been a whole mess. Anyway, into practice at Miami. Yeah, I don't really like this track, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably just me not being used to it, and it's quite a difficult track to learn with no line. But yeah, not a big fan of it at this stage. But overall, practice here wasn't too bad. Our components are very worn, as Mark has just told us, because we've done a lot of simulated practice with these components. But overall, practice in the end not too bad. Did have to simulate some more programs to get them done, just so that we're somewhat even with our performance of what we were before everything broke. Plenty of development boosts as well, which is lovely. Other than that, let's get ourselves over into qualifying. Alright, so the plan for qualifying, as always, is just we're going to do 2 laps, one at the start of the session, one at the end, and just to see how we go. I think the pace of the car with this new career mode, because that's essentially what it is, it's possibly good enough to get us into Q2. Anyway, end of our first lap, we did a 28.9, so not great, putting us 8 tenths behind the leader at that stage. And as we start our final lap, we're in P14 and quite a way off the pace. We've got Lando Norris in front of us, which possibly isn't ideal. Little bit of dirty air through this first sector, but we're still gaining a bit of time, up 2.5 tenths nearly as we finish this first sector. I still don't get the track limits there, by the way. They are very, very broken on this game. DRS all down this straight, still behind Lando. Now into this very, very tricky section that I really do not like very much. Very, very difficult to get the car through here cleanly. We do the chicane well enough, but very apprehensive on that last left-hander and lost a lot of time there under braking. All the way along this straight, we're losing time versus our previous lap because of that. We get a decent run compared to our previous lap through the final corner. As we come across the line, we're going to set about a 28.7, and that puts us in P15 and through into Q2. Very, very nice lap in the end. Could have been better, but I'm overall happy with that. Marcus unfortunately knocked out in Q1 down in P20. We've sort of not out-qualified him by too much though, so not too bad. Our only lap in Q2, it wasn't great. We struggled. It was worse than our first lap in Q1, and because of that, the best we could manage was P16. Very unfortunate, but let's get on into the race.
We're here in the coastal shores of Florida for the Miami Grand Prix, which has become the 11th Formula One track held in the United States. The grandstands are packed for what we hope is going to be another fantastic race. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium, and 19 corners make up the Miami International Autodrome, which will challenge the drivers in a tight wheel-to-wheel race. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Tsunoda, and Esteban Ocon, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, and Mick Schumacher, Vettel, the rookie, Alex Albon, and Pierre Gasly, Stroll, Armstrong, Latifi, and Guan Yu Zhou. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
Alright, so strategy-wise, again, Miami, it's a one-stop, same as every other track it seems. Again, because this career mode got deleted, we're going to see a lot of the tutorial features again, which is a little bit annoying, but it's something we're just going to have to deal with. We do have rain at the end of the race, so we're putting the hards on at the start, and we're going to try and get through to that rain period. Hopefully the rain will come a little bit early. The AI will do what the AI do and stuff up their strategy by pitting on dry tyres 4 or 5 laps before the rain comes, and we'll be sailing on our way to our first points finish, I should say.
Okay, pull the clutch in, hold it there until the start.
Thank you, Mark. I do know how to start the car. Anyway, getting ready in our grid slot now. We're probably going to be pretty aggressive off this start, see if we can gain a bunch of positions into turn 1, given we are on the hards, and see if we can hold some people up. But now, as we get ready for 5 red lights, keeping it calm, getting ready, let's absolutely menace these AI off the start. 5 red lights. And away we go, absolutely sending it off the start. Much better start than Vettel beside us. Schumacher and Bottas going nowhere off the line either. We're going to go up the inside of both of them, up the inside of Kevin Magnussen as well at turn 1. What a start to this race on these hard compound tyres versus the medium runners. So we go through turn 3 now. We are ahead of Magnussen and up into P12 in this Grand Prix. What a start to this race. Let's see how we go through the rest of this race as we go through the next corner. And, oh no, we've been tapped from behind and we are out of the Miami Grand Prix. You are kidding me. Let's have a look at the onboards. Firstly, from Mick Schumacher's perspective, see what happened here. I don't know if that's far enough up there. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think as we have a look through a few more camera shots. We'll jump on Kevin Magnussen's camera angle as well. You can see how far behind he is on this straight, and he's not gaining on us either. And then, I don't know. I think that's going for a gap that was always closing there. But in the end, it doesn't matter who's at fault either way. We're out of the race, and that's an opportunity gone begging. That's frustrating.
And that's the checkered flag. What an amazing victory in what has been a great Miami Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
So, Max Verstappen extends his championship lead. That's another thing that's changed in this career mode now after the reset, is Red Bull are the fastest car, and they are miles ahead of Mercedes and then Ferrari. So, yeah, Red Bull are taking off with both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship in this season at this stage. As for us, poor result for both cars, obviously. Us retiring and Marcus only managing P20. Little bit disappointing for him. I thought maybe with our car he might have been able to gain a couple of positions, but it is what it is in the end. And we'll move on to the next race, which is the Spanish Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo absolutely demolishing us in the rivalry. Marcus nearly going up to acclaim level 6, our overall acclaim only just staying above acclaim level 5. Preparing for this race, we're going to go make sure we re-sign the same sponsor that we had before, which is PSP, I think. We're also doing some personnel department stuff with Marcus as well. Plenty of activities to go through, all that fun stuff that comes with running this F1 team. Upgrades wise, we will have a few more upgrades on the car. We've had a few fail as we've been simulating, which is frustrating. But you'll see our chassis is quite strong. It's our aero and engine that are pretty weak now. Getting into the weekend, I must say I am very much enjoying the autocross Pirelli hot lap events. They are so much fun. This one was easy as well, gold easy, so that's massively boosting our acclaim, which is good to see. in practice at Spain. Spain's never been one of my stronger tracks, but we managed to purple every single practice program, which is brilliant. And that's got us completely set for all our resource points and development boosts again for this race as well. So practice is at least doing well. Let's see how we can do in quali and race. Alright, so same deal as Miami. We're going to do 2 laps, one at the start, one at the end of the session on soft tyres. Just see where we end up. First lap, again, same as Miami, it wasn't great. It was, what, an 18.8, which puts us closer to the leaders initially, but overall not a great lap. Starting our second lap now, right behind Fernando Alonso, so we'll get a really, really good tow along this main straight, and maybe through turn 3 as well. We'll see how that goes. Gaining plenty of time along this straight, nearly up a 10th by turn 1, and then continuing to gain time all the way around turn 3. Must have had a moment on our first lap because we're up half a second already as we start sector 2. So very, very nice looking lap so far. Still getting the tow from Fernando all the way along here and on this next straight as well. Having to lift through the fast right-hander. The car just does not have the downforce as of yet. And then into this final sector, which seems to be very, very chassis dependent. Gaining a lot of time through here, especially through this final chicane. Now up nearly 8 tenths as we go through the final corner. Crossing the line, we set at 18.0, but it only manages to get us up to P18. Probably the best we could have hoped for in this car. Max Verstappen taking provisional pole in Q1, so again, that Red Bull very strong. Marcus only managing P22. I think he had some issues with his laps as he's 8 tenths down. But let's get into the race.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day, he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat out this weekend. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, Carlos Sainz, and Leclerc, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, and Valtteri Bottas, Ocon, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, and Vettel, Stroll, Joe, the rookie, and Alex Albon, Tsunoda, Gasly, they've taken a grid penalty, Latifi, and Marcus Armstrong. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Alright, so...
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Thank you for interrupting me, Mark. George Russell absolutely smashing it, taking pole position from Max, so that's insane. And we're also promoted up 1 position with Pierre Gasly's penalty, so good signs, I think, at the start of this race. Again, we're starting on the hards. We do not want to be dealing with tyre warm-up versus the AI, so we're going to do that and finish on the mediums. We'll see how we go. There's no rain at the end of this race, but I think this is probably the best strategy. There is the option to extend on the hards and go to softs at the end as well. We'll just see how we go with that. And hopefully we can get as good a start at Spain as we did at Miami without another incident ruining our race. Anyway, getting into our grid spot, I need to turn off this grid indicator sound because it is annoying me so much. It's another thing that reset when our game file's deleted.
Okay,
but anyway,
there. Nice one.
let's see how we go, keeping it calm. Hopefully we can beat Zhou off the line as we get ready for 5 red lights at the Spanish Grand Prix. And away we go, and we've sort of matched the guys on the mediums. We haven't had the greatest start ever. Stroll on the softs looking to get around people, but he's very boxed in, having to back out there, which maybe gives us the opportunity to turn one. No, we back out early. Albon going up the inside of everyone. Stroll really slow out of us. Gasly getting past us as well. Stroll on the outside. He's going all over the place. What is he doing? He has another moment and we nearly go into the back of him there off track, so I don't know what's going on there. And because of all that, we're down to P20. Marcus is up to P18 from last on the grid. What a drive he is having already in this race. And now as we try and go around the outside of Stroll again, yeah, there's nothing doing there. Our hard tyres just do not have the grip versus Stroll on the softs. There's not a lot we can do. We'll hopefully just settle in here for a bit, but we do have pressure now from Tsunoda and Latifi behind, both on medium tyres. That AlphaTauri quite a bit quicker than our car as well in this career mode. Going down here, we're getting a massive check-up from Lance Stroll here. Again, Stroll driving like a madman, which means both Latifi and Tsunoda get up the inside of us in the next corner. And we're down now into last position. Can we hold on to that position through the next corner? Yes, and we force our way back up and into P21 at Latifi. But unfortunately, it didn't last for long. Start of the very next lap, Latifi up our inside into turn 1. We're going to try and hold him off through turn 2 and 3 around the outside, but that car has so much more grip on the medium tyres. He comes flying back at us up the inside there. He manages to hold it all the way around turn 3. We try and hold him around the outside into turn 4, but he just has so much more grip and he gets up the inside of us. We try to switch back, didn't work. Marcus having his own battle with Tsunoda and Stroll. But yeah, Latifi gets that move done. Not a lot we could have done there, unfortunately. Skipping on to the end of lap 3 now, we have a couple of cars pitting. Bottas pitting currently. I think he had damage of some sort. He's going on to medium compound tyres. Schumacher behind us as well on softs. He had some sort of incident on lap 2, I believe, that put him a long way behind the rest of us. And unfortunately, that'd be where he was the entire race. Bottas actually going on the softs as well. There we go. But yeah, some very unfortunate incidents for a couple of drivers up the field, but it has allowed us to gain a few positions. On to lap 8. Nothing happened until now. Marcus was battling with Nicholas for lap after lap, but unfortunately the pressure's going to get to him on this lap and he goes straight on. Pretty rookie error, I think, in my opinion. We'll have to do some more training to help him deal with that in the future, and that lets Latifi through up into P16. For us, again, nothing happening at all on lap 13. We're 5 seconds behind Latifi. George Russell has pitted onto softs for some reason, so he's overtaken us very, very easily in his Mercedes on those tyres. Very little we could do. It wasn't worth fighting. I let him through, hoping that we'd get some DRS from him at least on the main straight and be able to pull us along for a little bit. So we go through the chicane. George then decides to pit. So we get absolutely no benefit. We obviously get DRS, but no slipstream whatsoever. And it didn't help us at all. On to lap 16. Some of the front runners are now pitting, so that's beneficial for us as Alonso's come out ahead of us. Maybe we'll manage to get some DRS off of him if we can close up a little bit. He is on cold, hard tyres. And this is exactly why I didn't want to have to deal with warming up our hard tyres late in the race, because you can see how much Alonso's struggling at the moment. He's losing a lot of time to us, and we would have been losing even more to the AI trying to warm up ours during the race as well. So you can see, I think as we cross the line, we're 7 thousandths off of getting DRS there, so that's very, very unfortunate. Thankfully, lap 17, Lando Norris came out between us, so this lap will get a little bit of DRS, although it's not going to benefit us much at all, because they're pretty much both pulling away from us. Lando's got DRS on Fernando, so he's getting dragged along as well, and we're going to struggle really to keep up on this straight at all, unfortunately. You can see both of them starting to pull away. Lando's still struggling a little bit on his tyres compared to ours, and we've managed to pull away 3 seconds now from Ocon and Ricciardo who have been battling behind. But let's see if we manage to get another helping of some DRS here as we come across the DRS line now. I'm pretty sure we crossed that line at half a tenth under a second, so I don't know, game, where's my DRS, what's going on? Anyway, on to lap 21, those guys ahead have fully dropped us completely.
There appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
Oh, Mark, you're joking. Oh, no. Come on. We're in a good position here. I don't think it's a good enough position to get points, but even finishing top 15 would give us a massive boost to our claim right now, because we've been struggling all season here as we go through the second sector, still trying to hold this gap to the cars behind and maybe close into Lando a little bit, but it's not looking good if we have this issue. Please, let us finish this race.
We have a severe engine issue. Find a safe space to retire or return to the pits.
I hate this game.
Okay, gap ahead
I hate it.
is 3.4 seconds.
Mark, we're retiring the car. The gap ahead doesn't matter, bro.
Retire.
It doesn't matter. We're out of the race. The gap ahead doesn't matter. I'm firing you, Mark. I'm firing you, and I'm firing Arrow from the engine department. I'm done. That is such a disappointment. I don't think we were on for points, but even finishing P15 there, we were on track to come out in 17th after our pit stop. That's a shocker.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
So, Max and Red Bull extend their lead in both championships again. Lewis Hamilton gaining on people in the championship as well. That Mercedes very, very quick now compared to the Ferrari. And Leclerc and George Russell absolutely throwing their races away. I think they finished well down the grid, actually, as we have a look. Yeah, Leclerc and George Russell maybe made up a few positions, but yeah, Leclerc all the way down the back. Don't know what happened to him. Lap down as well. There's your Constructors' Championship. Red Bull miles ahead. Mercedes closing in on Ferrari. Us down the bottom, still no points scored. Daniel is absolutely destroying us even more in the rivalry. We drop down to a claim level 3 again. We can't get to a claim level 6, which is what we were pre-files deleted, so we're having an absolute nightmare here. Gaining 0 money. Our turbocharger was what failed, so we're going to need a new one of them. That's fun. We're going to put all the old parts back on for practice at Monaco, though. We may even try and get away with using them in quali and the race as well, given straight line speed is far less important there. We'll just see how we go with that. It depends what the lifespan is on those parts. As for upgrades, we have 1,500 points, so we can afford a upgrade to the engine cover on the chassis side, but our chassis are really not bad at the moment. It's around midfield. It's our aero and engine that are struggling, and we don't have any fabrication upgrades to be able to do any more of those. So we're stuck in a pretty crappy position at the moment. We just got to wait for those upgrades to hopefully come through. But anyway, apart from that, thank you all so much for watching. Again, I am so sorry this episode came out so late. The next one will be out soon. I hope to see you all for that one shortly.